You are losing 10% of everything you earn every single day you ignore the laws of Babylon. 1926, George Clayson translated clay tablets that turned penniless debt slaves into the wealthiest citizens of the ancient world. Most people work their entire lives only to watch their bank accounts evaporate like sand in a windstorm. But the blueprint for absolute financial independence isn't hidden. It is waiting in plain sight for those who finally decide to obey it. Sight for nearly a century since George Samuel Clayson first published his masterpiece. And the final rule I am going to share, it is the one that separates those who simply survive from those who truly thrive. So get comfortable, grab a glass of water, and let's talk about your future. The year was 1926 when Clayson released his first set of pamphlets on financial success. He used the backdrop of ancient Babylon, the richest city in the world at the time, to illustrate timeless truths that are as relevant today as they were thousands of years ago. These aren't just stories, they are the bedrock of personal finance. Let's begin with the first essential step, paying yourself first. Imagine you are a craftsman in ancient Babylon. You work hard, you produce goods, and you receive gold coins for your efforts. Most people take that coin and immediately pay the merchant, the landlord, and the tavern keeper. By the end of the day, their purse is empty. That is a cycle of perpetual poverty. The Babylonian rule of gold is simple. Out of every 10 coins you earn, you must keep at least one. That is your 10%. If you earn $50, you keep 5. If you earn 5,000, you keep 500. You do not spend this money. You do not touch it. It is the seed of your future wealth. When you pay yourself first, you are acknowledging that your future self is a person worthy of investment. A study from the National Bureau of Economic Research found that people who automate their savings, treating that 10% as a non negotiable bill, accumulate over 70% more wealth over a 20-year period than those who try to save whatever is left over at the end of the month. You are building your foundation today so you don't have to scramble tomorrow. Does that sound like a shift in perspective? It should. Now, here is where it gets interesting. You have your 10%, but just letting it sit in a dusty chest is not enough. That brings us to our second point, making your gold work for you. You aren't just a saver, you are an investor. Every coin you save is a slave that can work for you. Think of your money as seeds. If you plant a seed in fertile soil, it grows into a tree that produces more seeds. That is compound interest. Albert Einstein supposedly called compound interest the eighth wonder of the world for a reason. If you invest $1,000 at a 7% annual return, that money doubles in about 10 years without you lifting a single finger. A friend of mine named Marcus started this process in his 20s. He wasn't a high earner, but he was consistent. He put his 10% into low cost index funds and let the market do the heavy lifting. By the time he reached 40, he had over $300,000 in assets. He didn't work 3 times harder than his peers. He simply allowed his money to work for him while he slept. If you are finding this breakdown useful, hit subscribe. I share deep dives like this every single week. It helps me keep the lights on and lets you know when the next lesson in financial mastery drops. Okay, so we've covered the discipline of saving and the power of compounding. But remember how I said the best one was coming? This is the one that most financial experts dance around, but it is the secret that truly changes your life. You must guard your treasure from loss. It is not enough to make money. You must know how to keep it. In the book, Arcad, the richest man in Babylon, warns against investing in things you don't understand. He says, advice is one thing that is freely given away, but watch that you take only what is worth having. Too many people chase get-rich-quick schemes. They hear about a hot stock from a coworker, or they jump into a volatile crypto trend because they see others doing it. That is how you lose your savings in an instant. I remember reading about a retail investor survey from 2021. It showed that nearly 60% of people who traded based on social media trends ended up losing money within the first 6 months. The market loves to test your resolve, and it loves to take money from those who act on impulse rather than information. Protecting your capital is a skill. It means having an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses before you even look at the stock market. It means vetting your investments. If it sounds too good to be true, it is. Every single time. Guarding your treasure also means living below your means. This isn't about being cheap, it's about being intentional. If you get a raise, do not inflate your lifestyle to match it. Keep your expenses stable and put that extra income into your investment pile. Let that sink in for a second. Think about how much further ahead you would be if you never let lifestyle creep eat away at your raises over the last 5 years. It is the quiet discipline that builds empires. So, we have the 3 pillars.
Pay yourself 10%, force your money to compound, and protect your capital like your life depends on it. That is the blueprint. Most people will watch this video and do nothing. But you are different. You are now equipped with the same wisdom that fueled the most prosperous civilization in human history. It isn't about luck, and it isn't about being born into the right family. It is about the simple, boring, repeatable actions you take every single month.
If you found value in this, share it with a friend who needs a financial reset. It's the best way to support the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss the next deep dive. I've got a project coming next week on the psychological traps that sabotage even the best savings plans, and trust me, you are going to want to see that. Until then, start with that 10%. Your future self is already thanking you for it. We talked about the importance of being patient, but what happens when you're facing a massive debt burden that makes it impossible to save that first 10%? That is a common hurdle, and it's a trap many fall into. In the next video, I will show you how to structure your debt repayment in a way that allows you to start investing simultaneously, because you should never have to wait until you are debt free to begin building your wealth. It is a balancing act, and I will show you the exact math to make it happen. I hope you feel the power of these ancient lessons. They are simple, but they are incredibly difficult to master because they require you to say no to yourself today so that you can say yes to everything tomorrow. Go start today, even if it's just $5. That habit is the most valuable asset you own. See you next time.